All right, what's up, everybody? This is going to be a hard one. I read and watched and read an incredible interview of Chetan Puttagunta and Modest Proposal on Invest Like the Best with Patrick O'Shaughnessy. And I think it might have been the best interview I've heard in the last 3+ months on AI for all sorts of reasons. So putting this together was a little tough because of the constraint of 300 or so words. But let's dig into Inference. It's the number 4 on my list of 24 AI topics in 2024. Here we go. So oversimplifying it, LLMs are pre-trained on vast amounts of data to develop general language understanding and knowledge through a process that typically happens once in a resource-intensive way. Inference is the practical application of this learned knowledge, where the model processes new inputs to produce outputs such as answering questions without necessarily further learning. Hope that all makes sense. With that context, below are my 3 biggest inference related takeaways from the interview. That was a little bit of a word salad. I apologize. Here we go. 1, inference costs have plummeted by 100 to 200x in just 2 years. Here's the quote. In the private markets, one of the things that's happening is just the dramatic drop in prices of just compute, whether it's inference or training or whatever, because it's just becoming way more available. If you're sitting here today as an application developer versus 2 years ago, the cost of inference of these models is down 100x. It's frankly outrageous. You've never seen cost curves that look this steep that fast. Number 2, intelligent routing systems. Here's the quote. And today, most companies don't even think about inference costs because it's just like, well, we've broken this task up. And then we're using these small models for these tasks that are pretty basic. And then the stuff we're hitting with the most with frontier models are these very few prompts, etc. And the rest of the stuff, we've just created this intelligent routing system. And so our cost of inference is essentially 0, and our gross margin for this task is 95%. And so I think that's where you're starting to look at and seeing the entire application stack for these new AI applications. And that starts with people that provide inference. It starts with the tooling and the orchestration layer. So we have a portfolio company that's extremely popular called LangChain. Big shout out to LangChain and all you rock stars, including, of course, Harrison Chase and Jacob Lee. Number 3, enterprise AI application conversations with Fortune 500 CIOs are moving at a completely different pace, aka 15 to 30 minutes into the first meeting to get to let's do this. Here's the quote. We're now going to CIOs at Fortune 500 companies showing these demos. And 2 years ago, they were really nice demos. Today, it's a really nice demo combined with 5 customer references of peers that are using it in production and experiencing great success. And what becomes very clear in that conversation is that what we're presenting is not a 5% improvement over an existing SaaS solution. It's how we can eliminate significant amounts of software spend and human capital spend and move this to this AI solution. And your 10x traditional ROI definition of software is easily justified, and people will get it within 30 minutes. And you're starting to see these, what used to be a very long sales cycle for SaaS and AI applications, it's 15 minutes to a yes, 30 minutes to a yes. And then procurement process for an enterprise, completely tenuous. Now the CIO says something like, let's put this in as quickly as possible. We're going to run a 30-day pilot. The minute that's successful, we're signing a contract and we're deploying right away. A little bit long. I apologize, but you got to listen to this podcast. I have obviously several times and have read the transcript several times and keep going over it. But again, big shout out to all those involved, including Patrick O'Shaughnessy, Invest Like the Best. Such a great podcast. Have a great day.